So we were discussing, 1 minute, huh? Yes. अरहंत सिद्ध सुर उपाध्याय साधु सर्व अर्थ के प्रकाशी मांगलिक उपकारी है। तीन को स्वरूप जानी रागते भई जो भक्ति काय को नमाए स्तुति को उच्चारी है। धन्य धन्य तुम्ही से काज सब आज भयो कर जोरी बारंबार वंदना हमारी है। मंगल कल्याण सुख ऐसो हम चाहते हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। हो मेरी ऐसी दशा जैसी तुम धारी है। So in the last class, the last discussion that we were having was about prathakatva, atyant abhav, separateness. Okay. So in case of separateness, the spatial points are different. They are not existing in the same spatial points. Okay. So the relationship between two substances like soul and the body is that of separateness, distinctiveness, because both substances spatial points are different. That's why it is separateness. And in between one substance, when we distinguishes between the substance, attributes and modification, then it is called atadbhav. That means otherness. That means not to be that. Okay. Not to be that is the characteristics of anyatva. That means they are separate. Okay. So substance is not attributes, attributes is not modification. All three have their different identities. But having said that, they exist in the same spatial point. Okay. Different, there is no separateness of spatial points. Okay. So this is the difference between the two. That is the discussion that we had last time. It's very important, if you don't know this distinction, two types of distinctions. One is complete separateness and the other is otherness. Okay. So there is a subtle difference between the two. And if you don't understand this subtle difference, then the one which is otherness, you will consider it as separateness. Then also you will not be able to manifest the right belief. Okay. So you have to understand things as they are and not according to our perception. Okay. There is a very established universal law about the nature of things. Okay. And we have to understand things as they are, as per the nature of things, as per the nature of reality. Vastu Vyavastha. Okay. So Vastu Vyavastha never changes. It's an universal law. Okay. Only thing is that we have to change our perception. We have to change our belief. Okay. And align it with that nature of things. Then you will be able to comprehend things as they are, and then their knowledge will be right, your belief will be right, and you will be into the path of liberation. Okay. So in that sense, I have shared these 2 pages. It's a bit difficult to understand, but having the discussions that we had in the last class and what we discussed just now, I think you will be able to understand the two different types of distinctiveness. Okay. One is absolute separateness, the other is otherness. Okay. So in separateness, complete separateness, the spatial points are different. Okay. And in otherness, the spatial points are same. But having said that, the nature of each substance, attributes or modification, whatever you may take as comparison, the nature of these three are separate. Okay. But they exist in the same space point, same spatial point. and that's why it is atadbhav, otherness. Now we move on to further discussions. We are on to page number 20 and significance of divisions and subdivisions, and now we are going to start in the middle of this page 20, the function of existent conventional viewpoint. So asudh vyavharne is of two types, sadbudh vyavharne is of two types. This is what we are going to understand now. Okay. So Darshit, you only read from there the function of.
The function of existent conventional viewpoint, Sadbut Vyavharnai, is to explain by creating distinctions within a single indivisible substance, while non-existent conventional viewpoint, Asadbut Vyavharnai, works by describing relationships between two different substances. Distinctions paired within the indivisible substances are made on the basis of attributes in pure form and their possessor, Shuddh Gun Guni, or attributes in impure form and their possessor, Ashuddh Gun Guna Guni. The viewpoint that focuses on the pure form of attributes and their possessor is called pure existent conventional viewpoint, Shuddh Sadbut Vyavharnai. The viewpoint that focuses on the impure form of attributes and their possessor, Ashuddh Guna Guni, is called impure existent conventional viewpoint, Ashuddh Sadbut Vyavharnai. The relationship shown between two substances is also of two types, either with synthesis samshlesa or without synthesis. The viewpoint that focuses on substances or relations that are combined through synthesis, samshlesha, is called a literal non-existent conventional viewpoint, anupcharit ashuddh vyavharne.
Number
The
one, that is
viewpoint
number one. That is number one. Okay. Anupcharit asadbudh vyavharne. So you may forget the name, but you should remember the number. It is number one, number two, number three, number four. Okay. So similar kind things. If you remember the numbers, then at least you will be able to distinguish between the different viewpoints. Okay. Continue.
The viewpoint that focuses on substances or relations that are not combined through synthesis, samlesha, is called the figurative, non-existent conventional viewpoint, upcharit ashuddh vyavharne. So that's the second one, right?
Yeah, second. This is the second one. So the relation which are very far reaching, that are number one, and the relations that are close. Now soul and body are close, but soul and home, soul and car, soul and office are bit far. Okay. So there are two types, very far and very near, but although very near, but it is separate, still separate. Okay. So this senseless is defining that particular difference. Okay. The synthesis may be very close or very far reaching. Okay. So the first one is very far reaching. The second one is bit close. So that second one is called figurative and the first one is called literal. Okay. Both are non-existent conventional viewpoint. Okay. Continue.
In this way, conventional viewpoint explains the internal structure of a single, undivided substance by creating distinctions within it. However, within the internal arrangement of the substance, more emphasis is placed on non-difference, abhed, than difference, bhed. Therefore, as real viewpoint focuses on the indivisible, it is regarded as real and true and is considered worthy of acceptance, upadhyay, while the distinction-seeking perspective of conventional viewpoint is deemed unreal and false and is to be abandoned, hey. This is because non-difference, focusing real viewpoint by supporting the indivisibility of substance, strengthens unity, mitigates the concerns of multiplicity, and serves as a direct cause for self-realization, Atmanubhuti. In short, we can say that the divisions and subdivisions of conventional viewpoint are necessary and meaningful for understanding and explaining the order of the world.
Vishwa Vyavastha. Vishwa ki Vyavastha. Order of the world means nature of thing. Vastu Vyavastha. Okay. Vastu Vyavastha and Vishwa Vyavastha. Okay. So they are two different meanings, two different words, but they mean the same. Order of the world and the nature of reality. Both means the same. Okay. So this is a universal truth, the order of the world. So we have to align our knowledge with this order of the world or nature of things as they are. Okay, then only our knowledge could be right. Now the practical application.
Practical application. Upanai. The conventional viewpoint arises from practical application. Since the conventional viewpoint generates distinctions, Ved, the literal non-existent conventional viewpoint, Anupcharit Ashudbhut Vyavanai, is the producer of figurative expression, Upchar, and the figurative non-existent conventional viewpoint, Upcharit Ashudbhat Vyavanai, is further the producer of figurative expression even within figurative expression. It is therefore said to be generated from application, Upanai Janita. In one sense, the conventional viewpoint itself is an application, Upanai, because the distinctions counted within Upanais are all, in one sense, distinctions and sub-distinctions of the conventional viewpoint, as is clear from the chart below.
Hmm.
Do you want me to carry on reading or should we go through the
Yeah,
chart?
it's okay. You can go to purpose directly. Yeah.
Okay. Purpose. To avoid getting stuck, lost, or entangled in conventional matters, it is essential to understand the nature of conventional viewpoint. This is its purpose. To be renounced worth adopting, heyo upadyeta. The knowledge of conventional viewpoint is worth adopting, but it is neither an object of belief, shraddhaye, hey, nor meditation. It is to be renounced from that perspective. That is, a conventional viewpoint is adoptable for the sake of understanding, but is to be renounced as the subject of faith and meditation. The non-existent conventional viewpoint, Ashadbhut Vyavhar Nahi, nature and subject matter. The viewpoint which, on the basis of relations, makes non-difference based figurative application, Abhed Upchar, among different substances and thereby clarifies the real nature of the object, Vastu Swarup, is called the non-existent conventional viewpoint. The scope of non-existent conventional viewpoint is unlimited because its objective is to figuratively establish unity between different substances based on their various associations. The substances are infinitely infinite, and the associations on the basis of which their unity or doership is figuratively established are also of many types. For example, are these relations within a single class of substance or across different classes? Is the established connection proximate, with synthesis or distant, without synthesis? Is the relationship type that of knower known, Nata Gnea, or the owner known, Swaswami, etc.? Many possibilities arise in this context. Considering all these aspects, the applied figurative relations are categorized into the following 9 parts based on substance, attribute, gun, and modifications, paryay.
Hmm. Stop. So before
Yeah.
we go on to this descriptions, so the one we taught in the beginning, okay, that was very easy from the chart, you know. All these are the same things that they are saying, but in a very complicated manner. But now this is our textbook, okay. So we can't help it, we have to study this. But the 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 chart that I taught you, it explains everything. In fact, in that one chart, this whole topic can be understood in half an hour, not more than that. Okay, but we are taking so much of hours, and because of the language and the facts they have put in, it has become very complicated. Okay, but I can't help it. So that's why I didn't teach this one. I taught you the first one because that was very simple. We know what is number one, the one that is far off from the soul and the body, like my family, my car, my house, my office, my business, like. Okay, so that is number one. So easy to establish the relationship, right? And the second one was body and karma. Then third was 100% toxic emotions and partial pure sentiments. Okay, number three. Then number four, 100% pure modifications and distinctions of attributes. That's all. So easy it was for, but this they have put in a different manner, and this has made things complicated. Not only in English, but if you read the Hindi one also, some of the things that they have mentioned that should not be mentioned in the first place. Like too much of knowledge gets things complicated. So what I explained you in the chart, I stand by that, and practically also you can manage with that chart only. Okay, but your examination will come from this. That's why we are studying this again. Okay, but if you don't understand anything from this, it's still okay. Okay, because I know it's very difficult to, the language and the interpretations that has been given are all very gumao, like jalebi. So these things have become very complicated, but we can't help it. But the chart that I taught you in the beginning itself, it's very easy and it's very practical, and our purpose is to understand these different viewpoints, is to practice discriminative knowledge. Okay, so how do we go from number 1 to number 8? That was the purpose, and that we show you in through the chart, that how easily we can go from 1 to 8, 2 to 8, 3 to 8, 4 to 8. But while explaining, we have followed a proper process: 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. But practically you can go 1 to 8. Okay, the moment you connect to your soul, it is number 8. Okay, because number 8 consists only of pure soul. Okay, so our purpose should be to get to that number 8 every time, whatever we encounter in our day-to-day life, whatever concepts we understand. Okay, our skill should be to come to number 8 from whatever situations we are. And when we are at number 8 and we establish oneness with that, that is the time we see the things in the right perspective. Soul is a knower, and once you establish yourself as a knower, then you can see the things in the right perspective. Okay, so so excuse me for the language of this, all these things, but I have taught you from the chart, then that still is very clear and valid. Okay, but nevertheless we will read this. Your fill in the blanks might come from here. Okay, so for fill in the blanks and true and false and what your, only for your objective exams we are studying this. Okay, but for your practical applications, that chart is enough and very simple. Okay, so now you can read, Priyanka, you can read. Treating one substance as another substance. Now all these are conventional viewpoint. Okay, so conventional viewpoint, what it does, it makes distinctions between an indivisible substance, and on the other hand it combines two substances and make it as one. In both the cases it is conventional statement, it is not the real statement. But having said that, the arrangement in the worldly existence goes by this conventional viewpoint. Okay, so you have to say that this is my house and this is your house. Okay, so this type of conventional statements are required to run our day-to-day life. Okay, so there is nothing wrong about that, but having said that, we understand that these are all conventional viewpoint, and conventional viewpoint means it is not the ultimate truth. Okay, but it is being said from a certain perspective, and that perspective if you understand, there will not be any problem. Okay, You start reading, yeah?
Jai Jinendra, sir.
Considering all these aspects, from there you start again.
Sir, yeah.
Hmm.
Considering all these aspects, the applied figurative relations are categorized into following 9 parts based on substance, attribute, and modifications. Treating one substance as another substance, that's number 1. Number 2, treating one modification as another modification. Number 3, treating one attribute as another attribute. Number 4, treating an attribute as a substance. Number 5, treating a modification as a substance. Number 6, treating a substance as an attribute. Number 7, treating an attribute as a modification. Number 8, treating a modification as a substance. And number 9, treating a modification paryay as an attribute, that is gun. The classification of substances is also done in 3 ways, based on the basis of relations, associates unity with the non-self per. For example, considering the body as one's own, calling parents or house, etc., as one's own. These are my parents.
You
This
have
is
left
my
one
house.
paragraph, right?
Uh, oh, probably, sir. The classification of
Ah,
substance. Sorry. The classification of substances is also done in 3 ways, based on whether they belong to the same class, different class, or hybrid, on the basis of various relationships between these 3 substances. The above 9 types of applied relations form the subject of non-existent conventional viewpoint, which is Asadbhut Vyavharnay. The fact is that different substances are not one. Yet, this viewpoint on the basis of relations associates unity with the non-self, that is par. For example, considering the body as one's own, calling parents or house, etc., as one's own, these are my parents, this is my house, and so on. In this way, the unity of the soul with the non self is a subject of this viewpoint. In summary, this viewpoint explains relationships between distinct entities by creating unity or similarity in behavior, revealing connections between two substances. The relationship between the soul and external substances can be of 2 types: synthesized, which is some list, or not synthesized. When 2 entities share a direct connection, they are termed as proximate or synthesized. In such relationships, only simple figurative application, that is upkar, suffices. Upchar suffices. For instance, the relationship between knowledge and the object of knowledge, jnana and jnaya, is direct, and hence the knower and known relationship is called a proximate, some slice relationship. Despite significant spatial distances, as in case of omniscient beings perceiving distant objects like alokakash, outer space beyond lok, this relationship is still considered proximate as the relation is direct. When 2 substances are related through a third medium, that is indirectly, they are termed as indirect, asamlist relationships. In such indirect relationships, even figurative application, upchar, requires further figurative application. For example, the relation of the soul with entities such as spouse, kids, or home, etc., is mediated through the body. Thus, it is considered a figurative application within figurative application. In this way, this viewpoint explains the relation of the soul with other substances. All statements of the Pratman scriptures fall under this viewpoint. For example, the mentions of Tirthankar Adinath's wife and the description of his body with 500 dhanush, that is bow lengths, fall within the scope of this viewpoint. So, shall I continue?
yes, complete.
Significance of the term: two substances can never be truly united as one. Observing apparent associations of proximity between them, when unity or oneness is suggested between them, it is merely imposed rather than real. Since this viewpoint imposes a false sense of unity on distinct objects, it is termed non existent, that is, asadbhut. Because it creates relationships between different distinct substances, it is called conventional. And as it explains one aspect of reality, it is called viewpoint. Thus, the name non existent conventional viewpoint, asadbhut vyavharnay, is aptly justified. Purpose: the viewpoint which describes the relationships between different substances represents worldly conventions and beliefs. It is useful for practical worldly communication and behavior. For instance, the distinctions between one's own house and another's house, or between one's own wife and another's wife, are not only worldly but also have a religious and ethical basis. Therefore, making distinctions of self and other, even in external substances, for rightful and ethical living is the purpose of this viewpoint. Moreover, by explaining the potential relationships of the soul with external substances, this viewpoint establishes the way for understanding the principle of discriminative knowledge, Bhed Vigyan, to be renounced or worth adopting, Heyopadetya. Since the subject of this viewpoint is useful for knowing and for practical worldly communication and behavior, it is worth adopting, that is Upaday. But as it shatters the distinctiveness, vibhaktata, of the soul through figurative application, upchar, it is to be abandoned. That is, it is to be abandoned because it establishes the unity of the soul with the non self, par, and unity with the non self is the cause of suffering. Classification: based on the proximity and distance of relationships, this viewpoint is divided into two types: figurative non existent conventional viewpoint, Upcharit Asadbhut Vyavharnay, or literal non existent conventional viewpoint, which is Anupcharit Asadbhut Vyavharnay.
Stop. So you see, uh, 1 and 2 put together, this introduction was there. Okay, 1 and 2 put together. Now they are separatingly telling 1 and 2. Okay, so I think if you do this as homework, you can just read through. Otherwise, we can also read in class if you want, but uh, I feel it's going to take time, and you will feel that sir is only reading. But whatever I had to explain, I have explained you through the chart. It's very simple. I think we will do that chart once again. At the end of this readings, we can do that chart once again and solve. We also solve the question answers. Okay. So that chart is self-explanatory, and through that chart, most of you were able to answer the questions also, that this statement belongs to which viewpoint, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All was so easy. But now you suggest what is to be done, Darshit ji. If we go on reading, like we have to read at a speed, and I cannot explain same thing again and again. So what do you suggest?
My personal view is if we can just carry on reading, and then this reading that we have done, we can do it in the background at home.
Okay.
The reading that we've already done, we can do it. We can carry on moving forwards, and then we can go back to the chart like how you suggested.
So you want this to be read in the class or not?
No, no,
No. So you will read it as a
no.
homework, right?
Yeah, that's my view, but we can ask other people in the class as well.
Everybody reply. What is your suggestions?
Sir, I
Priyanka?
think that table, yeah, sir, I think that table that you had given, no, the
Uh,
two tables.
yeah.
So it was very easy to understand, and also it is quite self-explanatory. I think in
Yes.
this one, of course, they are giving like all the reasons why this is called
Hmm.
why their viewpoint is.
And about that, we have this PowerPoint presentation also from G platform,
Exactly, sir.
and
So,
and the
sir,
other one that Nischay was also has been released now. So you can access everything, and that is enough for understanding this. But only thing is that the textbook is this one. So what you suggest? You will read as a homework, right?
so
Or
we'll
even
read when near the exam time. I mean, to
yeah,
be
during
honest with
exam
you.
time you open and read. Otherwise, for our practical purpose, we will follow that chart. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So we are skipping this 1 and 2. We will again see the introduction of the 3 and 4, which is Sadbudh Vyavarne, existent conventional viewpoint. That we will read the introduction, and then we will move on to the real point of view. Okay. So it is on page number 28. Yeah, this is existent. Yeah, this is Sadbut Vyavane. Yeah, existent conventional viewpoint. So again, this is the introduction. Out of this, again, two will come. That is number 3 and 4. Okay. Uh, that will be, first one would be literal existent conventional viewpoint, and figurative. So first one would be figurative and the second will be literal. Okay. Same two classifications. That is number 3 and number 4 coming up. So we will read this introduction at least 1.5 page, and then we will move on to the real point of view. Okay. So existing conventional viewpoint, nature and subject matter. Jinali, you read. Subhaji, are you okay with this? No, what Priyanka and uh, Darshit ji suggested.
Yes, yes, Ji.
Okay, good. So Jinali, you read.
Figurative existing conventional point.
Nature and subject matter from there.
Okay, nature and subject matter. The viewpoint that explains the intrinsic nature of a substance by differentiating its attributes.
Your voice is not clear. Uh,
Sir, I'll join through my mobile. Maybe 1 minute.
okay, now it is clear. Now it is clear.
It's clear?
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, this viewpoint discusses the substance attribute mode द्रव्य गुण पर्याय.
You have a hands free with you?
No.
Okay. Now, see, now you said no, it was very clear. Then again it becomes faint,
So should I slowly?
Oh, then you leave it. Subhaji, let Subhaji read.
Okay.
Subha? Oh, she has, I think,
I think she's not in class anymore.
yeah, she is not in class. I think she lost the connection. Okay, anyway, Darshiji, you again read.
Okay, sure. So nature and subject matter. The viewpoint that explains the indivisible nature of a substance by differentiating its attributes, karma, nature, and modes is called the existent conventional viewpoint. This viewpoint discusses the substance, attribute, mode, dravya gun paryay, within the substance. The subject of existent conventional viewpoint is to differentiate between attributes and the possessor of these attributes, modifications, and that in which the modifications occur. Inherent nature and the one possessing the nature, and doer agent and the one who is the doer agent, which are essentially inseparable. Thus the viewpoint shows differentiation in a singular, indivisible entity and views one as manifold. It highlights distinctions within an inseparable entity and within itself too. For example, referring to a jiv as having knowledge, gnan, and belief, darshan, in reality gnan and darshan are inseparable from the jiv, but this viewpoint makes a distinction. Therefore, this viewpoint is the producer of distinctions. In reality, there are no divisions within the substance itself, nor can they be created. However, divisions can be conceptualized for understanding and comprehending. Therefore, This viewpoint explains by making distinctions within self.
So
Within
this is important. Darshit hold on. Divisions can be conceptualized for understanding and comprehending. Why we are making distinctions in the indivisible substance? Why can't we understand indivisible substance as it is? Because it's difficult to understand the indivisible substance. So for the ease of understanding, we are doing this distinction. Okay. In reality, there are no divisions within the substance itself. In reality, there are no divisions, but nor can they be created because it's an indivisible thing. However, divisions can be conceptualized for understanding and comprehending. Therefore, this viewpoint explains by making distinctions within self. The distinction has been made just to make you understand. Okay. Within the limit of a single substance from there on. Darshiji, continue.
Within the limit of a single substance, distinctions of attributes are not of the nature of non-existence above, as the differences between two separate substances are, but they are of the nature of non-identity, atadbhav. Non-identity is not identical with non-existence. From the viewpoint of
So
intrinsic
here
nature,
in the beginning that we discussed, okay. So atadbhav, for atadbhav we have used word otherness, okay. And for separateness, okay, separateness is pritakatva. So that separateness is non-existence, okay. Non-identity is not identical with non-existence, okay. So non-identity is atadbhav and non-existence is Prithakatva, that is separateness. Okay. So where Adadbhav is written, we should consider as otherness, and where non-existence is written, we should consider as separateness. Okay. They have used different words, but the meaning is the same. Continue. From the viewpoint of intrinsic nature.
from the viewpoint of intrinsic nature, that which is a substance is not an attribute, and that which is an attribute is not a substance. This is non-identity, atadbhav, or in other words, atadbhav is otherness.
Yes. Now they have written
Anyatva.
otherness. You can see otherness. Yeah.
Anyatva. Within
Yeah.
the boundaries of a single substance, non-existence of an attribute in its possessor guna guni, or the non-existence of possessor guni in an attribute gun, or non-existence of one attribute gun in another, and so on. This kind of otherness is called anyatva, or to be different is anyatva. Two attributes of a substance, or the attribute and the attribute possessor guni, are different, but because they are inevitably are the same substance, hence they are inseparable, not separate. For example, this kind of otherness, anyatva, exists between a fabric and its whiteness, because the space points, pradesh, are not entirely separate. In brief, it can be said that the existent conventional viewpoint divides the unity of a substance focusing on its otherness, atadbhav, and deals with the differences, anyatva, within itself. Significance of the term. The attributes and modifications exist inherently within the substance, making it existent, sadbut. Since distinction is created in an undivided substance based on attribute and modification, hence it is referred to as conventional. Since this viewpoint focuses on partial truths within the object, it is called a viewpoint nai. Therefore, the term existent conventional viewpoint is meaningful. Purpose. This viewpoint serves the function of creating distinctions within the undivided substance for the sake of understanding and explanation. It also provides knowledge of differences and unnatural modifications, vikar. To be renounced worth adopting, heyo upadeta. It is worth adopting upade because it aids in understanding and explanation, but it has to be renounced, hey, as it fragments the unity of the substance. Classification. Based on the focus on purity, suddhata, and impurity, asuddhata, this viewpoint is further divided into two types: figurative existent conventional viewpoint, उपचारित सद्बुद्ध व्यवहार नहीं, impure existent conventional viewpoint asud sadbut व्यवहार नहीं. And the second one, literal existent conventional viewpoint unapcharit sadbut व्यवहार नहीं, and pure existent conventional viewpoint शुद्ध सद्बुद्ध व्यवहार नहीं.
So these two divisions, that is number 3 and number 4. Okay. So this completes the 4 conventional viewpoint 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 3 and 4 is being explained that you have to read as a homework, and we move on to the real viewpoint. Its introduction we will see, and then 5, 6, 7, 8 will come up one by one. Okay. So the fifth one is impure real viewpoint. Okay. Ashuddha nischay nahi. And you know the combinations of 3 and 4. Okay. 3 with 5, 3 with 6, 4 with 7, and 4 with 8. So we have 35, 36, 47, 48. Okay. So we will see this real viewpoint, its types and subtypes, the introduction, and then again maybe we can read through this is bit less confusing, real viewpoint. So if you want, we can read through. There's a small topics we can read through. There is no problem about this. So we will read through. Okay. So real viewpoint. Now we are on to page number 33. Yes. Yes. So Priyanka, you continue now. Real viewpoint, the introduction.
Real viewpoint.
Yes.
Real viewpoint focuses on the general aspect of an object that is both general and specific in nature. As the general aspect is singular, the viewpoint that takes the general as its subject is also singular, not multiple. Hence, real viewpoint, which is characterized by not being otherwise, natat, is one and indivisible. Why is the real viewpoint indivisible? The other distinctions of the real viewpoint are according to the intention of expression, sometimes referred to as real and sometimes as conventional. For example, in relation to the partially pure real viewpoint,
Which number is this
Ekadesh,
one? Which number this one? In
this is number
relation?
5, sir.
Yes. No, 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 no.
No, 1 minute. Ekadesh Suddha Nishchay Nay. Shuddha. This is 6.
Yes, this is 6. And the next one, the impure real viewpoint.
Sir, where is it? Sir, impure real viewpoint is number 5.
Yes, good. Carry on.
In relation to the partially pure real viewpoint, Ekadesh Shuddha Nishchay, the impure real viewpoint, Ashuddha Nishchay, is regarded as conventional. In relation to the completely pure real viewpoint, Sakshat Suddha Nishchay, both
Which
the
number?
partial
Which number?
7.
Yes, good.
Yes, 7.
Hmm.
In relation to the completely pure real viewpoint, Sakshat Shuddha Nishchay, both the partially real viewpoint and the impure real viewpoint are regarded as conventional. And in relation to the supremely pure real viewpoint comes under the conventional
Which
view
number? Which number?
8.
8. Very good.
And in relation to the supremely pure real viewpoint, Param Shuddha Nishchay, the completely pure real viewpoint, the partially pure real viewpoint, and the impure real viewpoint are all regarded as conventional.
Hmm.
However, the supremely pure real viewpoint comes under the conventional viewpoint. It admits of no further divisions. Therefore, it is not proper to classify the real viewpoint into subdivisions, for it is truly indivisible, abhedya. So this paragraph I didn't understand.
I also did understand. Let me check with the Hindi version what it wants to say. However, the supremely pure real viewpoint comes under the conventional viewpoint. Why it is like that? Okay. So I'll first read the Hindi version, then I think we will be able to. Why is the real viewpoint indivisible? Okay. So here it is written, परंतु परम शुद्ध निश्चय नहीं कभी भी व्यवहार पने को प्राप्त नहीं होता, उसके कोई भेद नहीं होते. However, the supremely real point comes under the conventional view. It doesn't come. कभी भी व्यवहार पने को प्राप्त नहीं होता. It admits of no further division. उसके कोई भेद नहीं होते. So it doesn't come under the conventional viewpoint, but it should be like it never कभी भी व्यवहार पने को प्राप्त नहीं होता. इट नेवर परम शुद्ध निश्चय नहीं कभी भी व्यवहार नहीं को प्राप्त नहीं होता. It will never comes under the conventional viewpoint. Okay, so I think never, no word is missing here. Viewpoint does not come under the conventional viewpoint. That should be there. Let me correct it, because conventional and real are two different viewpoints. Okay, so however the supremely real viewpoints comes under the conventional viewpoint, does not come under the conventional viewpoint. Okay, so this is I think should be the correct meaning. परंतु परम शुद्ध निश्चय नहीं कभी भी व्यवहार पने को प्राप्त नहीं होता. Okay, so does not come under the conventional viewpoint. It admits of no further division. उसके कोई भेद नहीं होते हैं. Therefore, अतः वास्तविक निश्चय नहीं को भेदों में भेदा जाना सही नहीं, वह तो अभेद ही है. Therefore, it is not proper to classify the real viewpoint into subdivisions, for it is truly indivisible. Now it is correct. So the does not will come. This correction is important. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Everyone is corrected. So only we are only 4 students here. So we have to mention this in the group. Okay. Otherwise, okay. So next time I will again explain this one. Okay. Why do
Sir,
other...
Sir, I can take a screenshot of the screen and write it on that.
Okay.
For everyone's reference, if that's okay.
Yeah, good.
1 minute, sir. Okay. I'll send it to the group, sir,
Yes.
in a few minutes.
Okay. No problem. After the class, you can send. Now you continue reading.
Okay, sir. 1 minute. Okay. Why do other viewpoints assume the nature of convention? Because only the supremely real viewpoint, which grasps the inherent nature of substance, Dravya Swabhav, is considered the true real viewpoint. The remaining viewpoints focusing on the nature of modifications, Paryaya Swabhav, are termed conventional because they serve a specific purpose and are dispensable after fulfilling their role. Why must other viewpoints be negated? Once the purpose of the viewpoint is fulfilled, their usefulness comes to an end, and therefore their negation becomes necessary. If they are not negated, the process of further development comes to a halt. Hence, after the intended purpose is achieved, for further advancement and to fulfill subsequent purposes, it becomes desirable to negate the previously stated viewpoint and to present the next viewpoint. This process of negation ensures progressive realization of truth. Therefore, partially pure real viewpoint negates impure real viewpoint. Completely pure real viewpoint negates partially pure real viewpoint. and supremely pure real viewpoint negates completely pure real viewpoint and all other viewpoints. In this way, each viewpoint negates the preceding viewpoint.
What examples I had given you? Can anyone remember?
So, the way I look at this is when you talk of examples in our spiritual journey,
Hmm.
if this previous viewpoint was not negated,
Right.
then you would the journey. It'll you will not be able to progress further.
That is true. But what example I had given? You can remember?
Was it the
Anyone?
boat from the boat and the person
Yes.
crossing?
Yeah, the
Yes.
boat, the man
Yes.
crossing the boat.
Yes. 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 So you have
Yeah.
to board the boat also, and when you reach the destination, you have to leave the boat also. Right? You have to
Yeah.
negate. Right? Similarly, one more example, that we apply soap to wash a cloth, but then later on we wash that soap also away from the cloth, right, to make the cloth clean. Okay, so in the first place you have to apply the soap, and in the next phase you have to remove the soap from the cloth to make it uh, wearable. Okay, so these two examples, and then there are the other two examples. That one example was of the mungfali, it has got an cover, external cover. Okay, so if you want to eat that mungfali, then you have to remove the external cover, right? But that external cover is protecting the mungfali. Okay, and when you want to consume, you have to remove that cover to get the essence of that. Okay, so this was the third example, and the fourth example was between two chess player. A chess game is played between two players. Okay, and those two players are mostly friends. You play games with your friends only, right? So in their practical life they are real friends. Okay, but while playing chess, both are opposite of one another. Okay, both wants to win over the another. Okay, so this example can also explain the relationship between a real viewpoint and a conventional viewpoint. Okay, so the job of the conventional viewpoint is to take you towards the real viewpoint, and the real viewpoint's job is to negate the conventional viewpoint to further progress in the spiritual development. Okay, so now I think you are picking up very nicely. I'm so happy about it. Next question. Why is the supremely? Continue.
Continue, sir. Okay. Why is a supremely pure real viewpoint not negated?
Hmm.
In this viewpoint, the statements are made from perspective of belief of substance, dravya drishti.
Hmm.
It shifts focus from the impurity in mode to the intrinsic purity of substance. This viewpoint disregards the impurity of modes and focuses on the purity of substance, meaning it centers on the essence of the substance, samanya dravya,
Hmm.
that exists since eternity and will remain with the jeev for eternity. For the subject of this viewpoint is the pure soul substance, Shuddhatma Dravya, which is the object of belief and focus of meditation. Only on resorting to this viewpoint, self realization and liberation are attained. Therefore, it cannot be negated.
And therefore it is the king of all the viewpoints,
Viewpoints.
because it never gets negated by any other. That is the final thing. Yeah.
Are
Next.
viewpoints
Hmm.
are viewpoints entirely negatable? No, viewpoints are not entirely negatable. They are only somewhat negatable. This is because each viewpoint fulfills a specific purpose and is therefore not to be negated in its proper context. Why are the subcategories created in the indivisible real viewpoint at all? To understand and explain the pure inherent nature of the self, which is separate from external entities and modes, subcategories of the otherwise indivisible real viewpoint have been created based on the facts. How many categories are there in the real viewpoint? Generally, real viewpoint is divided into two types: impure real viewpoint, which is Ashuddha Nishchay, and pure real viewpoint, Shuddha Nishchay. Pure real viewpoint is further divided into three types: partially real viewpoint, completely real viewpoint, supremely real viewpoint. That is Ekadesh Shuddha Nishchay, Sakshat Shuddha Nishchay, and Param Shuddha Nishchay.
So first one
That-
is 5 and the next three are 6, 7, 8.
7, 8.
Hmm.
Thus, the real viewpoint can be divided into four categories in total. These four divisions of real viewpoint can be understood through the following chart.
Hmm.
So continue.
Yeah, continue.
In the above chart, it is important to note that among the three subcategories of pure real viewpoint, one category is also named pure real viewpoint. This indicates that the term real viewpoint is sometimes used to refer to all three distinctions collectively and sometimes to only one of them. Due to a lack of understanding of this nuance, various contradictions and misunderstandings tend to rise in our understanding of Jinwani. For the convenience of the readers, in the present work, we will present the differentiated Bhed-Roop pure real viewpoint, Shuddha Nishchay, uniformly as a completely pure real viewpoint, Sakshat Shuddha Nishchay. So continue.
Yes, yes.
Significance of divisions and subdivisions. Bhed Prabhed. The aforesaid distinctions of the real viewpoint are based on non-separateness of each substance from its own attributes and modes. Gun Pariyay. Each substance is inseparable from its attributes and modes and is distinct from other substances and their attributes and modes. Keeping this in mind, the three distinctions of real viewpoint have been made, excluding the supreme pure real viewpoint, Param Shuddha Nishchay. These four distinctions of the real viewpoint fundamentally establish the pure essence of the self, Shuddha Atma Tattva, as distinct from the non-self and from modes, as an indivisible continuity across the three times, Trekalik. These viewpoints turn the vision away from the non-self and from modes, and direct it towards one's own inherent nature of the soul. A specific point to note about the aforementioned distinctions and subdistinctions of the viewpoints is that each viewpoint makes statements about the entire substance according to its own perspective. For example, the supreme real viewpoint considers the substance to be pure, even if there is impurity in its own modifications, while the pure real viewpoint deems the entire substance impure based on the purity of its certain modifications, despite the purity of the core substance itself. Similarly, partially real viewpoint considers the entire substance to be pure based on partial purity, even while acknowledging the presence of impurities in other substances of the other parts of the substance. From this perspective, even in the state of seeker, sadhak, one can perceive the living being as completely pure, akin to the liberated soul's siddha. Thus, there is no contradiction in any of these statements, and all viewpoints are correct, true, and meaningful in their respective contexts. Purpose. The purpose of this real viewpoint is to negate the intervention of other substances within one's own substance, and by maintaining its inner indivisibility, establishing the integrity of the substance through the negation of distinctions such as attributes, etc., to affirm its separateness from other substances, thereby directing the vision towards one's own intrinsic nature, that is Swabhav. To be renounced, worth adopting, Heyo Padetya. Among the real viewpoints, the impure real viewpoint, Asuddha Nishchay, is to be renounced. However, the viewpoint of expressing the partially pure real viewpoint, Ekadesh Shuddha Nishchay, and the completely pure real viewpoint, Sakshat Shuddha Nishchayane, is worth adopting. And the viewpoint that is relying upon the supremely pure Param Shuddha Nishchayane alone is to be adopted.
Is only the one and only to be adapted. Okay. So this was more clear now than the previous one. So now this four viewpoints, real viewpoints. Okay, the number 5, number 6, number 7, and number 8. You read as a homework. So tomorrow's class we will have only question answers. Okay. So 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, sorry, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So this 4 you can take it as homework, and then we will see further discussions on this. Let me see. Yeah. So now, yeah, charts are there only. We can repeat the last one, the 8th one, supreme pure real viewpoint. Okay, because ultimately this is where we want to reach. Okay, so we will repeat only this one, and the other 3 you can study as homework, and then we will continue with this conclusion of this particular chapter, and then again we will come back to the chart that we have studied in the first place, and then we will be solving the question answers. Okay. So I think next week it will be over. This particular subject would be over, and then we will start the paper number 3. So before that, just read through supreme pure real viewpoint. Param Shuddha Nischay Nay. Darshit ji, now you read.
So sorry, which place are we at now? Because I'm a bit lost.
Supreme pure real viewpoint, number 8. Go straight to number 8. It's on page number 42.
Okay.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, this one, sorry.
This one here.
Supreme pure real viewpoint.
Okay. So is it this way? It says why is supreme?
No, before that, before that.
Before that?
Yeah.
I think it will say as a heading, Dashiji, like supreme.
Supreme pure.
This
This
one,
is
yeah.
coming. Yeah, this here. Supreme pure real viewpoint. Okay.
Okay.
Number 8. This
Supreme.
is number 8.
Okay. Supreme pure real viewpoint. Param Shuddh Nischay Nahi. Nature and subject matter. The viewpoint which apprehends the pure, eternal, supreme, natural, general state, Trikali, Shuddh, Param, Parinamik, Samanya Bhav, is called the supreme, pure, real viewpoint. That is the viewpoint which takes as it is, as its subject, the eternal nature of the substance, free from all changing and unchanging modes, Vikari, Avikari, Paryay, is called the supreme, pure, real viewpoint. For example, the Jeev is called Karan Shuddh, pure as cause, because it is the substratum of attributes that are the nature of the Supreme Essence, or the Jeev endowed with pure vitality such as existence, Satta, consciousness, Chaitanya, and knowledge, Gnan, etc. According to this viewpoint, worldly pleasures and pains, as well as attachment and aversion, do not exist at all. That is, they are not a part of the soul. That is the subject of the supreme, pure, real viewpoint. Its subject matter is the pure soul, devoid of modes of bondage and liberation. Thus we see that this viewpoint focuses solely on the eternal, unchanging nature of the substance, Trikali Dravya Swabhav. Its subject is only the undivided, integral, and eternal essence of the soul, Atma Tattva, distinct from all external entities like all other living beings, Parjiv, all non-living entities like Pudgal, etc., all the modes of like influx, ashraf, etc., and attributes, distinctions, gun, bhed. In some contexts, this aspect is also briefly referred to as distinct from non-self and modes. Sorry, I think I've gone too ahead.
So one more change that you have to do, Darshit ji, the 1, 2nd, 3rd, 4th line. From all
Sorry.
changing and unchanging modes, okay, starting, come back, come back, come back, come back, come back. Yeah. So the 4th line, okay, free from all changing and unchanging modes. Okay. So there you do the correction, free from all impure and pure dispositions. Okay. Impure and pure modifications. Paryai, okay, so it is modification. Impure and pure modification. You cut down changing and unchanging.
So which one? Which is it? This at the first paragraph where we
Yeah,
are
first
now.
paragraph, 4th line, 4th line.
Okay, and what do we write?
Free from all changing and unchanging, you can cut down. You can just write free from all impure and pure modes. Chalega, modes chalega. Changing, unchanging ki jagah impure and pure.
Yeah,
That's all.
yeah, okay, okay.
So this also you can take out a photograph and share in the group, Priyanka. Correction. Okay.
I can send it if Priyanka ji is struggling. I don't know if you'll manage because I've got a printed copy.
Okay.
in
So
front.
you can do the correction there and take a photo and send in the group. Okay.
Yeah, I just did of this page.
Okay. Continue now. Non-doership and non-experience-ship, right? From there you have to start.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Non-doership and non-experience-ship.
Hmm.
Akarta abhoktapana.
Hmm.
Abhoktapan. In Paramatha perspective dealing with ultimate reality, the Jeev is neither created nor destroyed, nor does it engage in bondage or liberation. Therefore, according to this viewpoint, the Jeev is considered as a non-doer and non-experiencer. Significance of the term.
Hmm.
This viewpoint focuses on the indivisibility of the attributes and the possessor of those attributes, thereby making the undivided substance its subject, and is hence real. It emphasizes the inseparability with the pure, eternal, supreme, natural, general nature of the soul, Trikali Shuddh Param Parinamika Samanya Bhav, making it supremely pure. It is called a viewpoint due to its reference to a specific aspect. Therefore, the name Supreme Pure Real Viewpoint is meaningful. Shall I continue?
Yeah.
Stages of spiritual progression, Gunasthan. Since this viewpoint focuses on the supreme intrinsic natural mode of the substance, Paramparinamika Bhav, it spans all stages of existence of living beings, from the most basic lowest forms of life in Nigod to the Siddhas, liberated souls. Thus this viewpoint is present in all the 14 Gunasthans and even beyond in the liberated Siddhas. The statement that all modes from physical appearance, Varna to Gunasthan do not belong to the soul is made from the perspective of this particular viewpoint. The statements such as all Jeeves are similar to the Siddhas, my true nature is like that of a Siddha, or I am eternally like a Siddh, are also made from the perspective of this viewpoint. These assertions reflect the understanding that one's true state is always like that of a Siddh, liberated soul. These declarations are not based on any temporary modes, but rather on the soul's inherent nature, Swabhav.
Stop. So our time is also over. And you see this stages of spiritual progression. Since this viewpoint focuses on the supreme intrinsic natural mode of the substance, Param Parinamic Bhav, it spans all stages of existence of living beings. Okay. From the lowest one sensed being to the liberated souls, all have this param parinamic bhav or the supreme intrinsic natural mode of the substance. Thus, this viewpoint is present in all the 14 stages of spiritual development and even beyond in the liberated siddhas. And now some of the examples, the statement that all modes from physical appearance to gunasthan do not belong to the soul. So this is taken from Samay Sar. I think verse number 58. Okay. So this is being made from this perspective that all these things does not belong to the soul. Then all jivas are similar to siddhas, or also this statement. My true nature is like that of a siddha. Again this, I am eternally like a siddha. All these statements depict the number 8 viewpoint, and that is what I am. Okay. Ultimately we have to connect ourselves, we have to align ourselves with this number 8 subject. Okay. So we keep up to here. Tomorrow we will start from here purpose, and then we will finish off this reading, this whole complete this whole text. And before that you have to do what we have left as a homework. Okay. So number 5, 6, 7 that we have not done, you have to read it in the homework. And again, we have read we have not read 1, 2, 3, 4. That also you have to read. Just go through it reading. And if you have any doubts or questions, we can take it up tomorrow. Otherwise, we will move ahead from here and complete the textbook tomorrow. And then next week, we will again do the chart and then the question answers. Okay. So that is all what's how we are going to close this paper. I think enough of repetitions has been done. So more or less you are clear, and I have not checked all the papers, but whatever I have checked, I can make out that you have understood this topic very nicely from the chart itself. And that CC1 also I have given you to prepare that chart itself. So I think our purpose of practicing the discriminative knowledge will be solved from this understanding, and this is going to come use this we are going to use every now and then in our spiritual journey until we get liberated. So this is very important topic, and tomorrow we will continue and finish this textbook, and then next week again we'll come back to the chart. And I think we will have one session only on question answers. I will be asking you the questions. Okay. It could be about the subject of each viewpoint, or I can give you example that this belongs to which viewpoint. So 1 to 8 you have to be prepared with the chart and the understanding. Okay. So next week we will continue, and not tomorrow we will continue with this and finish the textbook. Okay. So your assignment last date is I think 21st October. Still maybe 15 days to go, but you start preparing if you have not done it. Many of you have submitted also, so that is very nice. Okay, we'll close for the day. निज निधि निज में बताई, यह अनंत उपकार है उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार है, उसके लिए जिन वाणी माँ को वंदना सत बार